reason your power bill doubled. AI data centers. Mandates for COVID-19 vaccines persist for medical and nursing students. OpenAI pursues kids with AI by signing contract with giant toy maker Mattel. Microsoft AI CEO, chatbots are causing psychosis. And then we have some new Technocracy brochures to show you here in the show. Patrick, how are you doing?
I'm doing just great. But, nothing to see here. Just pass on. Don't listen to our program because we're not relevant. Whatever. So many people are asleep anyway. Does it matter? Well, I'll tell you what. We're heading into the biggest heist of the century, I think, or the millennia. And it's going to be interesting that Technocracy is going to basically take over the whole landscape before we're done. So We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be interesting.
I know this first topic is getting a lot of people to kind of wake up. I've been noticing a lot of people in Memphis, especially talking about their power bill going up the past couple months. And if you go to the videos on social media and you go to the comments, most people are tying it back to the data center here in Memphis.
They're hot. They're getting hot, and they're going to get hotter. This possibly could be the Achilles heel that we've been hoping for to derail this whole thing. Because if people see their power bills doubling, tripling, it's shock. It's absolute shock.
A lot of them can't afford it. I mean, they're barely paying rent, and then by the time their power bill's just as much as the rent, they're not going to afford it.
It's interesting. There's no mercy with these power companies. If you don't pay your bill, your power goes off.
Yep.
That's the end of it. And there's no way you can get the power back on unless you pay whatever they're asking. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are figuring out. In fact, there's one video that we might see here where 80,000 people have had their power turned off because of these increases. It's absolutely stunning. In fact, the video that you might play, be careful with this one. The first part of this video, the lady is using the word fudge very clearly. She says fudge, not the other word, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to play that, you're not going to get sandbagged and think it's another word. She clearly says fudge.
Okay, you want to play this, the first part of this?
I really do, yeah.
Here we go.
We spent $327 for electricity. That's crazy.
Our bill was $370.59, right? What the fudge is all this? A power plant, other surcharges?
This is crazy. I don't know how people are going to survive this.
It's going up to 11% now. 11%. Almost 88,000 people's electric has been shut off due to this.
If you live in Augusta, did your power bill look like a car note last month? Because it's not some of us, it's all of us.
Your electricity bill went up 30% last year, and it's not just inflation. AI data centers caused $9.3 billion in increased costs. You're literally paying for big tech's electricity. These data centers are popping up everywhere. They're being built in almost every state. Virginia has over 600 data centers. It is the data center capital of the world. There's probably a data center closer to you than you realize, and more are being built every day. But here's what made me suspicious. If these companies are worth trillions of dollars, then why do politicians celebrate them like they won the lottery? I found the answer in tax documents. Data centers aren't just being built with big tech's money, they're being built with the help of your tax dollars. In November of last year, it was discovered that Laidley LLC, a newly created Delaware shell company, applied for a 401 water quality certification for a proposed project by the name of Project Sucra. Laidley LLC turned out to be none other than Meta.
We just announced that we were building a 2 gigawatt plus data center in Louisiana that we're going to use to train future versions of Llama. We are in this for the long term, and we are committed to building the most advanced AI in the world.
Meta is now building a $10 billion facility in Louisiana. This thing is massive at 2,250 acres. That's bigger than 1,700 American football fields. The state gave them tax breaks so massive, they keep the exact amount confidential, but we know it was upwards of $1 billion. Meta claims this will create 500 permanent jobs, but we know based on previously built data centers that the real number is somewhere around 50 jobs. That's $20 million in tax breaks per job created. $20 million.
Well, whether it's 500 jobs, I'll take it. Here, 5 jobs in this area was a big thing before this came here. In Louisiana, we'll take every job that we can. When you add the 500 jobs plus the 5,000 construction jobs, it starts to build out. Remember, Jesus started with 12. Look how big his church is.
But let's look at some of these jobs the governor is referring to. Data center design, engineering, and construction, remote. Capacity planning director, remote. Principal energy strategy, remote. All of these high-paying jobs are for remote workers, and we know the bulk of job creation comes from the development of the data center, but even then it may not be done by local crews. So what are the jobs being left to the locals? Security guard. But even security guards are increasingly being replaced by AI-powered security cameras. Remember when your power went out last summer? Here's why. The North American Electric Reliability Corporation, the regulatory authority that monitors the entire U.S. continental power grid, including parts of Canada and Mexico, issued a warning. Our grid is becoming alarmingly unreliable. This isn't some local utility company. This is the federal authority responsible for ensuring that power companies from coast to coast keep the lights on. And the costs are exploding. PJM, the organization that coordinates wholesale electricity for 67 million Americans, just held their annual auction. The price tag, $16.1 billion. That's up from $2.2 billion from just 2 years ago. A 700% increase. PJM claims it's a relatively small part of your electric bill, but that's easy for them to say when they're not the ones footing the bill.
Demand for power is growing at a pace I have not seen in my 45-year energy career. This was reinforced just last week with PJM capacity prices clearing above the $325 per megawatt day price cap, as we continue to see the need for capacity and energy materially rise. With AEP's generation requirements increasing to support capacity, this gives us confidence in our growing capital plan.
This increase is largely due to new data centers and other industrial customers coming online in Indiana, Ohio, and Texas, resulting in a roughly $200 million year-over-year increase in revenues.
They're now starting to upgrade the power grid, but not for...
Wow.
I encourage people to go to this article and listen to this video start to finish.
Yeah, that's really well put together.
Multiple times. It's she did a great job, but it's indisputable at this point what's going on. Everybody should see this. And
this is just a start. I mean, these are just popping up now. I mean,
yes,
there's more and more of these being built every day. So something's going to have to change, or else people are going to rise up against it.
Well, you would think. I made a prediction or forecast some weeks ago. I can't remember exactly, but maybe a few months ago, that sometime maybe this year, early next year, some people in America will be receiving bills that exceed their energy bill, that exceeds their house payment or their rent payment. If you have a $200,000 or $2,000 rent payment, you might see a $2,200 energy bill. That one lady in the first of that first scene in that video showed a bill that was $800, and it was for 2 people in a condo. And how can you consume that much power? No way.
Yeah.
But somehow, and this is part and parcel, I think, of the smart meters. They're increasingly unreliable to measure your actual power consumption. So people are already getting out of this world bills like that, and they freak out. What can you say? All of a sudden, you have a $200 or maybe $150 power bill. All of a sudden, you get $600, $700, $800 bill, and you can't do anything about it other than pay it, because the power companies don't care. They're just, well, whatever it is, your power consumption was just erratic or something. They'll give you an excuse, but you're gonna pay the money.
Yeah, I've forgotten to pay it one time or a couple times, and they just turn it off. They don't tell you. I mean, at least the one here, they don't even give you a call. They just turn it off, and you're like, oh, did it not go through?
Yes, and in New York City, that one gentleman was talking from New York, the black gentleman. He said there's 88,000 people right now in New York City with their power turned off because they couldn't pay the bill. What's going on here? Isn't that worse than a power blackout even? I mean, what's the difference? 88,000 people lose their power permanently because still they pay, or the lights just go out all over the city for 2 hours or 5 hours, something like that.
Yeah, and this isn't because they don't have a job or they can't, they're not paying just because they don't want to. It's because these data centers are coming in, rising the prices so high that they can't afford it.
Exactly.
And energy shouldn't be as much as your rent or your mortgage.
No kidding. This is the disaster in the making. So I hope people will see just how ugly this technocratic takeover is, and the push back.
Yeah.
They really need to push back at this point. There's going to be a national catastrophe if they don't push back.
But what can be done? I mean, just push for the data centers to be put on a different grid, put on a different power source, but there isn't really any right now, is there?
No, there isn't. Let's cover this after the break.
Yep, we'll be back here in just a moment.
Better science leads to better outcomes. So by understanding the science in much more intimate detail, delivering a value product that is so different from anybody else.
So when we're stepping outside into seasonal changes, low humidity, sunlight, pollution, all of these things get communicated as stress on the top layer of skin that produces free radicals, and they're bad news for collagen networks. They're going to break down the collagen network and collapse that beautiful tensile strength of your skin. And so that's how we end up with fine lines and wrinkles. Bella Grace is really an elevated formula.
Better than the competition for very obvious reasons. First of all, we're delivering great collagen. We're delivering Verisol, which is the world's most studied form of collagen. So we're starting at a foundation that's really top notch.
So here is a lady today. She's taking the elixir, arthritis in her hands. She could not close her hands and make a fist, but after now being on the elixir, now she can.
The real breakthrough discovery, particularly with the cat's claw, it's a switch that regulates genes. There's thousands of genes that are involved in that inflammation process. When you have chronic inflammation, the problem is the switch is on and it's not being turned off. And so what's happening with the cat's claw is that it removes that little protein switch off your DNA, and the genes go back to a dormant state, and you go back to being, well, really healthy.
When at first we wanted to just have an amazing collagen ingestible product to be able to set the skin up so that my wife, Christina, could come behind that with incredible skincare, and that's exactly what we're still doing. What we weren't anticipating was the magnitude and just the vast amount of benefits that this elixir was going to do for people. Testimonies started flooding back in. About probably 30% of the testimonies were about hair, skin, and nails. The others were about people being able to walk up their stairs again, people being able to open their hands in the morning without having to do heat therapy, people being able to sleep better, athletes athletes before and after recovery and the energy levels that people were having. So we realized that this is so much more than just a collagen ingestible product, which it certainly is that at the highest of levels. We've even had so many people in the health and wellness world say this is legitimately, Brian, the number one, the best health and wellness product that's ever been introduced. And I would say probably the only negative here with Bella Grace and this elixir is that it sounds too good to be true, but it really is true.
Bella Grace Elixir, a scientific breakthrough with over 80 clinical trials. Visit melissahousebg.com to discover Bella Grace Elixir and the full range of Bella Grace products.
Welcome back from the break. We were just talking about people, if they are going to rise up and push back against the data centers, coming in and rising the prices of energy and power and water too, because they use so much water. But there's nothing that really can be done other than to either force the energy companies to eat, not raise their prices, or try to force the data centers to be turned off, right?
I know there's no way you're going to reverse the power companies' plans at this point. But let me tell you, in every city in America that has one of these data centers, the people that brought it to you were your city council. That's how they get entrance. If you want to push back, get your hands on your city council members and just beat them up. Well, not physically, but you need to browbeat them until they take action to protect you from these predators, if you will. They can do that. We have in Arizona, for instance, we have an agency here that monitors all increases and actually the power grid altogether, called the Corporation Commission. There's, I think, 6 people sit on that board. What have they been doing all this time? They're the people who wrote the exceptions for these data centers to come in the first place. There's your fulcrum. There's the people that you get your hands around and say, we will not take this anymore. You reverse this now, get rid of these people, get our power back in balance, or we're going to throw you out of office or, whatever, run you out of the state even at that point. But these are the people generally that are responsible for every single data center that's been established in America in the last several years. The city council first. If you have something built in the county, you have the equivalent of the county commissioners. Go for them. Pick at their houses if you have to. Whatever. Go for them. They're the ones, the only people, the elected officials above you that can protect you. Don't think you're going to get anywhere with the power company. Believe me, they won't budge. They don't care. Yeah. They're just a utility. There's no way they're going to do anything for you.
And your opinion doesn't matter to them either. I mean, they're just...
That's right.
They're a company.
They don't care. They don't care.
They just care about the profit.
That's right. Yep.
Oh, wow. And most of these, and I don't know, I don't think there's any other options in any city in America. I don't know. I know for sure in Memphis, you don't have any other option. You have one company.
Hey, you do, but remember the city council, all of them collectively, they voted for this.
Yeah,
they did. These were the people who granted the tax exemptions for these people. That was your tax money.
Yep.
They're the ones who need to be held accountable, because no technocrat will ever be held accountable for anything. They're unelected and they're literally they don't answer to anybody. So there's no recourse. The only political recourse you have is to get a hold of your city council and just dog them to death.
Yep.
People every day, get after them, tell them you can't do this, stop it, whatever. We don't want any more increases, and we want to be a rollback of energy prices at that point. And I know you guys in your locale, you have Google now on the scene, right, to build another facility.
Yeah.
Across the river, a huge one, right?
Luckily, it won't be on the same power company.
I'll tell you what, they'll find a way.
Yeah.
They'll find a way.
But even if it's not, the people over there are going to start feeling it now over on the other side of the river. So,
yeah, they will.
Wow.
Well, I can hope that this will be the Achilles heel that take this whole thing down. Maybe.
Yep.
I hope.
Yep. I definitely can see it. It's possible that I could see people rising up against this. I mean, once you turn the power off, they have nothing to lose.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
What can you do without power? What can you if our power went off right now, obviously the stream would shut down. Yeah. But you'd be sitting there wondering, I don't have any buttons to push, but everything just went dark. You know?
Can't charge your phone.
You can't even charge your phone. And so you're absolutely like in limbo, I guess, you know.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic that Elon, you know, he's helping create this problem, and he's also offering up the solar panels and all that stuff for you to power your home to get off the grid. So he's almost playing, you know, he's saying, here's the problem, where I'll help create the problem, and here's a solution for you to pay me to fix the problem that I made.
Yeah, that sounds like that's par for the course, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we got the next story. You want to go on to it? The next story?
Yeah.
Mandates for COVID-19 vaccines persist for medical and nursing students. I thought for sure that was done.
I thought so too. But it's not. There's people still holding out. Organizations holding out to enforce mandates. What? How can they get away with this? I don't know.
Yeah, and
it's inconceivable.
And how is this administration and RFK allowing this?
I don't know that either. What the colleges, the medical schools, they're saying it was not us. It's the private partners that we work with that are enforcing these mandates. Really? But they don't say who they are, the private companies, right? Well, is this a dodge that somehow the schools have figured out a way to shield themselves for being responsible for the mandates in the first place? It's their students pay tuition to the university that a private contractor comes in to teach the course, right? And they say, well, it's not us. You know, we didn't do it. But the private companies is enforcing the mandate. So the bottom line, students like medical students and nurses in nursing school, they're being forced to take the shot either to enter the program in the first place, in some cases to exit the program at the end to be graduated. Either way, this is absolutely inconceivable that this is going on in America right now.
And the only reason I could think of for why they would even, you know, force this is that they were being paid by Big Pharma.
You have to think that. Exactly. But
I mean, why else would you die on that hill unless you had something to gain?
I know. It's inconceivable that Big Pharma is so insensitive to the life and health of people in this country and around the world. They're so insensitive that they just don't care. If somebody gets injured, they don't care. This is so disturbing. It really is, because that means nobody's going to protect you. Be careful when you go to the hospital. That's all I can say. At this point, if you have a good reason to go to the hospital, you have to go. But otherwise, stay away.
And Johns Hopkins is one of the universities pushing this.
Yes, exactly. Of course, they're all they're all saying it's not us as a class at the universities because all their federal funding would be shut off.
Yeah.
That's all set in stone at this point. We thought this was all over when Trump came in and said, you're not going to get any more funds from us unless you stop this. And they all stopped it. But now all of a sudden we said, well, maybe they didn't stop everything. They have private contractors, wink, wink, right?
Yeah.
Who are saying you're going to be vaccinated because you want to graduate. You just wasted all your money taking all our classes, and you can't graduate until you get the vaccine. It's like, that's extortion.
Yeah. Wow. That will be a lawsuit right there.
You'd think.
Yeah. I mean,
I know how many times have I said in my whole lifetime, there ought to be a law.
Yeah.
But there's no law that can fix stupid or evil.
Yep.
Period. Let's talk about brochures.
Yep. We got Technocracy brochures at technocracy.news. Let me pull it up here. And you can order these. You can order in packs, right? And it's cheaper the more you get.
Yeah. Click the lollipop. There you go. This is hot off the press. We're going to be shipping in just a few days. Have a huge print run of these brochures, and I'm hoping people will buy these things in packs of 20, 25. I have a deeply discounted schedule. If you buy more, you pay less. I'll even provide the shipping to get it to you. This is something you could hand to anybody, anywhere, to get them understanding what technocracy is in the first place. This is especially good to put on a restaurant table because we have a picture on the front of the cover, the front of it showing a robot serving a hamburger to a patron, right? This is going to be you. And Elon Musk, the quote here says, this will become normal in a few years. Sorry, Elon Musk. You wanted convenience, instead you got replaced. So this is going to be an important way for people to put information into the hands of people in your community. Spread the word. Don't let them just walk away. This is a professionally produced thing in the first place. Is beautiful, full color. It's on glossy paper, folded perfectly.
And how do you get there? Is there a URL?
You bet. You just go to the store, technocracy.news, click on the store button.
Okay, so once you're at technocracy.news, click on the store button right here in the menu, and you'll see it right here.
Yep, that's it. Go for it. I say go for it. I'm not going to make a whole lot of money off this, believe me, but I'm providing this as a public service, and I really want people to get behind this with me and with the people that I work with, people like you too. We need to spread the word to the average American out on the street. You said, well, people in Memphis are asleep. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Slap them with a brochure.
Yep.
Slap them, get them out there. Tell them what it's all about.
Yep. And we'll be back here on Thursday with a new episode. Until then, Take care.
God bless.
Joining me now is Dr. Bashima Williams. How you doing, Doc?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me today, Brandon. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for being on. Hey, let's talk about Hulk Hogan. Died last week of, a cardiovascular issue, I guess, a heart attack. 71. This has been all in the news. What are your thoughts? I mean, I guess you don't see it. You don't know his medical history or records, but overall, people dying, a sudden unexpected death, heart attack. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, my thoughts are that over 365,000 events happen out of the hospital. Cardiovascular, cardiac arrest happens out of the hospital every year. And of those cases, 365,000, 90% mortality rate. That means you have a 9 out of 10 chance of dying if you have an event at home. So the most important thing that I wanted to talk about today, and I'm glad you're bringing this up, and just all condolences to Hulk Hogan and family. He's pretty active. I was kind of shocked. I actually, when I looked it up to see why he died, I wasn't expecting that given the recent convention and how strong and powerful he looked. Certainly wasn't expecting to hear that he died. So when I looked and read, and again, I'm not his doctor, I'm not anyone's doctor. This is all just information, by the way. And so I have no personal connection to Hulk Hogan, but what we found is that he had a cardiac event. So more than likely a heart attack. We call that a myocardial infarction, where there is not enough oxygen going to the heart tissue due to a blockage of an artery because of